Hi guys, welcome to today's session. Thank you all for your responses on yesterday. And our yesterday's quiz question was, where is the headquarters of Food and Agriculture Organization located? And the answer is, it is in Rome, Italy. So that is the right answer. Now let's start today's session. First question for the day. Feluda test recently seen in the news is related to option A, COVID-19 detection, option B, water quality, option C, kidney failure, and option D, nuclear weapons. So guys, the correct answer here is it is option A, COVID-19 detection test. Let's now see about various tests in COVID detection. First one is antibody test, and this test is based on a biological phenomenon. As we all know, basically in response to entry of a foreign invader in our body, virus in this case, antibodies are generated by the body's own immune system. And such antibodies are specific to that invader. Therefore, the detection of specific antibodies in a blood sample may indicate that at some point that individual is exposed to that invader. So that is the way antibody test is conducted. And the drawback with this antibody test is human body takes some time to generate antibodies after it is exposed to an invader. And antibodies continue to be present in the blood for some time even after the invader is completely eliminated from the body, and there are no clinical symptoms also for that. So for this reason the antibody test may not be accurate at some point. And second one is our RT-PCR test, and RT-PCR is reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. Here a sample is collected from parts of the body where the coronavirus gathers, such as person's nose or throat, and the sample is treated with several chemical solutions, and this remove substances such as proteins and fats and extracts only the RNA present in the sample. And this extracted RNA is a mix of person's own genetic material and, if present, the coronavirus RNA. So this mix of person's own genetic material and the coronavirus RNA is subjected for testing in RT-PCR. That is the way it is conducted. And third one is the newly developed Feluda test. And the Feluda test is indigenously developed by CSIR's Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology. And the Feluda is a paper strip test that detects the coronavirus in an hour. It is just like the pregnancy test. And Feluda is an acronym for FN-Cas9 editor-linked uniform detection. It uses CRISPR gene editing to target the genetic material of COVID virus, and this combines CRISPR-based biology and paper strip-based chemistry. Usually what happens is scientists take Cas9 protein component of CRISPR system, and this is barcoded to interact specifically with COVID virus in the patient's genetic material. And now this complex of Cas9 and patient's genetic material is applied on a paper strip. And if the patient is positive, then the line will be visible on the paper strip. And the advantage of this test is that it costs less than rupees 500 only, compared to 4,500 rupees for the real-time PCR test, which is currently being used for COVID-19 diagnosis in India. And guys, our today's quiz question is, the Feluda, the test name, is named after a detective story. And question is, who is the author of this Feluda detective story? Not much relevant in examination point of view, just a fact. Please comment your answers if you know. And moving to the second question. Second question is, Education for Justice E4J initiative recently seen in the news is launched by option A, UNESCO, option B, Pratham International, option C, Ministry of Human Resource Development, and option D, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes. Guys, the correct answer here is it is option D, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes. So this initiative was launched by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes to teach next generation about crime prevention and address problems under law. And this initiative seeks to prevent crime and promote a culture of lawfulness through education activities designed for primary, secondary and tertiary levels. And E4J initiative is under Global Program for the Implementation of Doha Declaration. So that is it. Moving to the last question for the day. The last question is, with reference to Khudai Khidmatgar movement, consider the following statement. Statement 1. It was a violent movement against British. Statement 2, it was led by Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Statement 3, the movement formally joined Indian National Congress in its later phase. Which of the above statements is are correct? Option A 1 and 2 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 4 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. So guys, the correct answer here is, it is option B 2 and 3 only. So guys, the Khudai Khidmatgar was a non-violent movement against the British occupation of Indian subcontinent. It was led by Abdul Ghaffar Khan, a Pashtun freedom fighter in the northwest frontier province. And over the time, the movement turned political, leading to British taking notice of its growing prominence in the region. And in 1929, following the arrest of Abdul Ghaffar Khan and other leaders, the movement then formally joined Indian National Congress after they failed to receive support from All India Muslim League. And the members of Khudai Khidmatgar were organized, and the men stood out because of bright red shirts they wore as uniform, while the women wore black garments, and they opposed partition, a stance that many interpreted as movement not being in favor of creation of independent nation of Pakistan. And this year is the 90th year for Kisa Kwani Bazar massacre. It is related with Khudai Khidmatgar movement only. Kisa Kwani Bazar was the site of a massacre perpetrated by British soldiers against non-violent protesters of Khudai Khidmatgar movement on April 23, 1930. What happened on that day is Abdul Ghaffar Khan and other leaders of Khudai Khidmatgar were arrested on same day by British police after he gave a speech at a gathering in the town of Utmanzai in northwest frontier province, and protesters spilled into the Kisa Kwani Bazaar in Peshawar on that day of Khan's arrest, and British soldiers entered the market area to disperse the crowds that had refused to leave, and the British army vehicles drove into the crowds, killing several protesters and bystanders. So that is the incident, and recently the 90th year of Kisa Kwani Bazaar massacre was observed. So that was in news. So that's it. That's all for today, guys. We'll meet tomorrow with another set of questions. Please post answer to the quiz question and your scores in the comment section. Thank you for watching.